Hello everyone, welcome back to another developer log. Uh, Today we have a lot of stuff to cover, and so I'll try to hammer this out as quickly and seamlessly as I can. For starters, new menu with the last four characters coming in. Um, I have been working on them, specifically one, and it's this funny rabbit character. This is Russell DB. I don't know what DB stands for, so that's up to interpretation. But he's this railroad tycoon, steampunk rabbit, and the idea behind this character is big hits in a small package. And uh, he's a lightweight. I'll get into the physics in game, but I I like this guy. He's kind of cool. There's a lot of weird gimmicky stuff with him that I'll uh, go over, but for the time being, um, we have these final four characters, and these are the final characters. I'm not planning on adding anyone else after these four. Um, it will be mainly just tightening up the gameplay and adding those super moves and tightening up the campaign mode, which I covered in a earlier developer log that the campaign mode is working. I just need to, uh, make it easily accessible from the menus that I have. Um, but that's campaign mode stuff. That's boring stuff. Uh, New character, bright and flashy. Let's get into it. So, the intro's still a bit janky. A lot of this is janky. But we have uh, Russell here, and like I said before, he's a lightweight, and so he can easily be pushed around. Now he's heavier than Frogshimaru here, um, but yeah, he's still considered a lightweight. He does have two jumps with his little steampunk backpack, which is pretty fun. Uh, he's got two moves that are working. Well, technically three moves that are working. We have his jab, which is a little cuckoo clock bird pops out, which is I I think that's fun. For his forward tilt, he has this double uppercut with the giant robot arm. Does decent damage. There's Crouch. Yeah, he's a funny guy. His back tilt is animated, but all the fine-tuned details like you know making it work are still uh, in in process. So it's not very good. One thing now, there was an earlier on my channel, I posted a video talking about a programming test, and this is what that is for. Russell here can time travel. So move the if we move Orochimaru around some, throw out an attack or two, ooh, playing the game, and then we have Russell use his neutral special. He hops into a time machine, and then uh, give it a second. Yeah. Now time is reversing, and you can hit them while they're going back in time. So you can hit them. No knockback, but they do take damage. Every time you hit them, the timer resets. And so if you hit them and then time travel, it'll only go back to the last time you hit them. So, yeah, just like that. So there is some incentive to play defensively and kind of dodge around, scurrying away, and then time travel, and so you can get free hits essentially. So that's kind of the methodology idea behind this character. Now, the time travel gimmick uh, was a lot of fun to put together, actually. uh, we have um, two time travel controllers, uh, but they both do the same thing. They're exactly the same object. What separates them is what player they affect. And so I set up, like, here's for player one. And when this object spawns in, it assigns a player uh, to this object. In this case, it's player one. And then what happens is it starts this alarm, which is just a timer, and it plays out this code. And what this does is it adds to, well, okay, going back for a second, rewinding time for a second. Uh, the alarm is a timer, so we set up that we need a timer. We set this to be, this is kind of our tracker. And so as we run this alarm, this variable time will go up by 1. Each time it goes up by 1, we set the sprite, we record the sprite, the image index, and the X scale, which means is it facing right or left. We also have a time limit, and so you can only have a maximum of 500 ticks, which is, I think, like 5 seconds? No, it's quicker than that. I don't know the specific time, it just kind of works. And then the X and Y position. So this way we don't need to worry about gravity or anything, because we are just recording the positions, and so when we play it back, it'll look like gravity is being applied, but it's just following the positions. Yeah, so here we got, we're adding to the time variable. We have this array of X position and Y position. We set those to the player. Same idea with the sprite, image index, and X scale. This just setting time to 0 here, we're just making sure that when it reaches the time limit, it loops back to 0. And then we run this alarm again. It's really fast, only for 1 tick, which is less than a frame. So this is going on in the background. And up here is the actual move. So we set the character to be the neutral special, where he hops into the time machine. This is applying the jump physics. And then when it reaches frame 9, if the player is player 1, then we have recording set to false, and then we run the reverse time alarm, which is right here. So if it's not recording, then we change the opponent player. That's what this player variable is. This is just the opponent. We set the opponent's player state to time travel, which means it's not going to do anything. It's not going to wiggle out and cause a mess, code-wise. And then we set the opponent's X and Y to that which we already recorded. Same thing with all of this. And then we set up variables. This is for the time travel effect down here. And so the time travel effect is going to be, it's that little blue aura that you saw around the player or the opponent as they were time traveling. That's just a bit of clarity so you know, like, hey, the time travel effect is still in effect. And that's just uh, an empty object that has all this stuff applied to it. And then we minus the time. Uh, and so if this is adding to the time variable, then this is subtracting to it. And then we run it all again, yada, yada, yada. And once the time reaches 0, then we have the recording equals true, so it'll go back to recording, and then have the opponent return to normal, and then start actually running the alarm. So all that to say, it's actually pretty straightforward. Here we have the spawning of the individual objects of the time travel controllers for each player. Kind of basic stuff. Here's the stats. Yahoo. Uh, Still need to work on the audio, but I don't want to, so I'm not. Time travel sounded more interesting than working on audio. Um, yeah, so I like it. I think it works pretty well. Um, this feels like one of those things where uh, it's going to be a lot more tricky after the fact I put it in, if that makes sense. Like all the bugs are going to show up after I'm 5 steps from now. So, uh, yeah, Russell is the new character, and I like him. He's a lot of fun, and because this is only one, the time travel is only one special move. We got another special move that's also pretty crazy, and I'm excited to show it, but my hand hurts from drawing, so we'll see how fast I get that out. But thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, thanks for watching.